Hey guys, it's Callum here, and welcome back to my. Hey guys, Callum here, and welcome to my review of Doctor Who Series 11, Episode 2, The Ghost Monument. So, Episode 2 has just aired, and this is my initial reaction to the episode. I really enjoyed it. Like I said in the last review for The Woman Who Fell to Earth, I was intrigued, I was invested in the story and what was going on. I really liked the concept of this episode. I think that the whole idea of it being erased, it basically erased for the TARDIS basically, but it not being for the TARDIS, I thought was quite interesting. I think that the whole concept was quite interesting, and I really enjoyed the way it was sort of paced. The two characters that I can't remember the names off the top of my head, I did like the woman quite a lot. I think she was a very interesting character. I think she was quite relatable to the characters that with like Graham and all the other characters in this episode. I think the guy was a bit one-dimensional, I would say, but in the end they obviously joined forces to win the prize, and they sort of just left at the end of the episode. But in terms of the characters in the episode, I think I'm enjoying Ryan and Graham's relationship. There's a very clear story to be had there that's going to be built over the course of the series. What I found very interesting about this episode was the fact that the Shantar was brought up again. I think that's how you pronounce it, from last week, which was very odd because I was not expecting that. I wasn't expecting them to get another mention this episode, which makes me think that they're going to be a recurrence throughout the series. Which made me think from last week when Tim Shaw teleported away last week, I was thinking if he would actually return during the series, which I do not mind if there's one villain throughout the entire series. I quite like that kind of idea, and it's very different to what Doctor Who is normally, because every week there's a monster of the week. But if the series is going to be like about one villain that you don't see every week, but is there over the course of the series, is going to be quite interesting. But I don't know how that's going to play into next week's episode, as I know it's going to be a time travelling episode to the past. So I don't know how that's going to work into it, if it is going to at all, but I am intrigued to see where it goes. I really enjoyed Jodie's performance in the episode. I definitely, this time round, really enjoyed her performance. I think I like how she demands respect, and how she always is there for her companions and promises them that she'll get them home. And I just feel like that Jodie really hones down that sort of feeling that you can trust her, because there was a part in the episode where Yaz, Ryan and Graham were talking about how can they really like believe that the Doctor can get them home. And there are doubts. Ryan has doubts. I think Yaz has some doubts. I said in my last review that I would hope that Yaz would get some development, and I didn't really feel that she did a lot. I'm really hoping over the next 2 months that she does. I think next episode might be, because I think it's an interesting topic next week, because I know that next week's episode is Rosa, so I'm quite interested to see if Yasmin will get any sort of development next week. But again, I think Graham and Ryan, I'm enjoying their sort of relationship together. I'm enjoying the sort of dynamics that they have. I'm very intrigued to see where they go, and I do like Graham's. I did not expect Graham to be so upbeat as he is, because I think when first looking, you'd think, especially after last week, that he was going to be a bit more hesitant to trust the Doctor or be as infused with this sort of adventure for themselves as he is, but I'm pleasantly surprised that he is as upbeat as he is, as he's trying to get Ryan to open up and to try and sort of enjoy the experience, even though it's an out of their mind, it's a completely different experience than any of them thought they would ever experience. I'm liking the way that Graham is being written, and I'm enjoying Bradley Walsh's performance as him. And overall, I'm enjoying all the characters, basically. And I think the key is, if I'm enjoying the series and if I'm enjoying the characters, that's the important thing. I think the big elephant in this room, I want to say, the title sequence is very different, and I do like it. I wasn't expecting that colour change. It's very different from all the other series' title sequences, and I thought that does kind of fit the show. I really like the theme tune. I like the opening sequence. Now the other elephant in the room is the TARDIS, which was the big thing in this episode. I do like the interior, but it's not my favourite. I don't hate it, but I like it. It isn't what I was expecting. I do like there's like a little, the time sand thing. I don't know what the actual name for it is. They have that. There's a bunch of levers. There's what's that? There's a biscuit. I can't remember what the biscuit is called on the top of my head, but it's a very famous British biscuit, which I did find quite funny. I found that quite funny, yeah. But I do like the TARDIS. I do like the exterior, and I'm really interested to see where the story goes, really. It's interesting because there's not really much to talk about other than what I've sort of talked about. I enjoyed the episode. I really, really liked it. I think it keeps the interest going with the characters. It's not like like last week where there was a cliffhanger. This is more a, right, we have our characters, we have our companions, we're going to go on adventures now, and we're going to see where that goes. The Centaur, whatever it's called, that is absolutely going to be a recurring theme, because if they didn't, why would they bring it up in this episode if it wasn't going to be a recurring thing? But we'll obviously find out in the coming weeks. But overall, as the second episode, as a follow-up to the first episode, which I really, really did enjoy, I think that this was a really good episode. The few problems I have with the episode is I did feel like there was a lot of dialogue expedition. I felt there was a bit too much, and there wasn't really much visually expedition wise. I don't know, I just feel like there's a lot of dialogue expedition, the main problem I have with this episode. And I also think that I think the editing is a bit odd. I think the continuity of the shots and where the actors are, I think is a bit off, is a bit jarring. It's not too bad, and it doesn't take me out of the episode, but I do think it's something that needs to be addressed. I think the dialogue expedition is a big thing that I think is quite a problem. Not a massive problem, but I think it is a problem, and I think that editing is a bit off. Visually, this episode was gorgeous, just like last week, and I did like the colour grading as well of this episode as well. Other than that, I don't really have much else to say on this episode other than I really enjoyed it. What kind of rating would I give it? I'm really not sure what to give it. I'm tempted. The thing is, did I enjoy this episode more than last week? That's the really thing that I need to digest. Because there were certain aspects on my first viewing with last week's episode that I wasn't too sure about. Then rewatching it, I then really liked it and gave it a 7.8. It's just, what do I give this episode? Did I enjoy it more? I kind of enjoyed it the same amount, if I'm honest. And there were certain aspects to last week's episode that I loved. I think the whole Ryan going out after his nan passing, trying to ride his bike. I really loved that scene, and I really loved the funeral scene, and the cliffhanger I really liked last week. I don't think there wasn't much of a villain this week. Maybe. I think I'm going to give the Ghost Monument a 7.5 out of 10. Because I but I still think that was a good rating. I think 7s are good episodes. For me, I don't know for everybody else. I think for me, 7.5 is a good episode. I preferred last week's episode only to do with certain aspects. But I really did enjoy the concept of this episode, the way it was sort of paced. And I did like the characters, how their relationships are going along with each other. I enjoyed Jodie's performance as a Doctor again. I'm really starting to really get what she's like, and I'm really enjoying it. It's kind of Matt Smithy, I would say, but it's her own kind of twist on it, and I really, really, really did like it. But overall, I think this episode was good, and I'm looking forward to. I'm just looking forward to next week. Really, we will have to see what next week brings with the episode Rosa. I'm actually really looking forward to it. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys enjoyed the episode as well. If you did, tell me what you liked about it. If you think I'm being a bit too harsh on it, or did you think, if you didn't like it, tell me what you didn't like about it, because I'm all for other people's opinions on this episode, because I've literally not seen anything. I don't know how people feel about this episode. I don't know if it's liked or hated, so we'll have to see. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please leave a like, give it a subscribe for more Doctor Who reviews, because I want to do these more, because I love this show, as you know, and I am looking forward to the rest of the series. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next week.